Hello, How at Times viewers. Judy Shields here. Today we are honored to welcome award-winning honky tonk and classic country artist Justin Trevino, who has released his first acoustic collection. The album, entitled One Tier at a Time, the Acoustic Sessions, features all new recordings of 15 songs. Justin has loved performing throughout his career, along with 4 new songs and a bonus track. The album's only one recorded with a full band. Hey there, Justin. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Judy. How are you?
Doing good out here in Hollywood, California. What's the weather like back there?
Hot. How about you? How about you guys?
Well, it's supposed to be in the high 90s. The town
Y-
I live in, called Rancho Cucamonga, it's supposed to be 105 today.
Yeah, you might have us beat by a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, well, we've been having a little bit of humidity, and here in Southern California, we're not used to that. So it's like, yuck.
Right. Yeah, I know. I don't like it either.
Well, also your album's streaming now, and it's via StarVista Music and on CD via Heart of Texas Records. Must be pretty exciting for you, huh, Justin?
Well, it's exciting to have a new project out. It's been a while.
So can you tell me, there's 20 songs, which is amazing. Who doesn't want 20 songs, especially I have a newer car. It's 2018, got a Ford Edge, and I had to make sure it had a CD player. So it does. So I love to put my CD in there so I can listen when I drive. I know cars are getting away with them, but that's why I picked one that had a CD, because I love to hear. There's nothing like hearing music besides live on a CD.
Well, you and I are in the same boat. I have a 2018 Chevy Silverado, and I did the same thing. I bought the newest thing I could buy that still had a CD player. I don't know what I'm going to do when I have to buy my next one, because yeah, it's getting to where they don't put them in vehicles anymore. But but yeah, 20 songs on the project, and of course, it is available on CD, but it's also available as digital downloads, and also we have those SD cards as well. So you can get it any way you can, or you can stream it on your favorite streaming platform.
That's good to hear. Out of these 20 songs, which it says here, you had 4 new ones. Which are the new
Uh-huh.
songs? And talk
The new
about those.
songs, the new songs are 3 that I wrote. The title song, One Tear at a Time. What if the tables were turned? And what's the name of that song? Cheating was good while it lasted. Those are 3 that I wrote, and actually had co-writers on a couple of them. Aaron Caldwell and I wrote Cheating Was Good While It Lasted. Guianne McCall and I wrote One Tear at a Time. I wrote What If the Tables Were Turned by myself. And then the other new song was written by Bill Anderson, Walt Aldridge, and Bobby Tomberlin. That song is called Right About Now. So those are the 4 new songs on the 20 song album.
Well, what was your inspiration to write What If the Tables Were Turned?
Tables was there was a wonderful singer by the name of Curtis Potter, and Curtis had been a veteran in the music business, and I looked up to him long before I met him, and I got to meet him sometime back in the late '90s, I guess. And then after we met, we worked together a lot. He's passed away now. Okay, so we were going to play a show in Seguin, Texas, which is about 3 hours from where I live. And that morning, as I was getting ready, I was actually in the shower, and I started getting kind of sentimental, just thinking about how appreciative I was getting to work with one of my singing heroes, and I didn't take it for granted. And I started writing a song with him in mind, like I'm going to write a song that would appeal to Curtis Potter. And so I started writing this song. By the time I got dressed and got on the road, I had the song written. And so when I got to the job and I ran into Curtis, I shook his hand and I said, "I was thinking about you in the shower this morning." And of course, he didn't know what I meant. I said, "No, man." I said, "I wrote you a song." He said, "Really?" He said, "Let me hear it." So I sang it for him, and he really liked it. He said, "Send it to me." So I sent him the demo. Unfortunately, he passed away before he got to record anything else. So he was going to record that song and he never got to cut it. So naturally, I felt compelled to put it on this album. And I tried to envision how Curtis would sing it if he was going to sing it. And I mean, really, even when I was writing it, I was trying to envision how Curtis would have sang it. So that's kind of the story behind this particular song and why it's on the new record. I would have liked to have heard Curtis sing. I would have loved to have heard Curtis sing it.
I bet. You know,
Yeah.
Justin, when you have 20 songs like this, how do you know, or when do you know which song is going to be the title of the album?
You know, I wasn't even sure I was going to name it after a song, but ultimately I decided to name it One Tear at a Time, just because I think it's one of the stronger cuts on the album, and a lot of what I sing is sad country songs. So One Tear at a Time kind of makes sense from that standpoint.
Yes, it does. So at what age did you discover your amazing voice?
Oh, I don't know. You know, so my favorite singers were the guys like Curtis Potter, Johnny Bush, Ray Price, Farron Young, the guys that were really great vocalists, Marty Robbins. And so I always aspired to sing like that. And I think I was probably in my teens when I really started pushing the boundaries, trying to increase my vocal range and really get the vibrato that I wanted and that kind of thing. My dad was a big fan of a lot of the deep voice singers like Ernest Tubb and Johnny Cash. And I love that stuff too. But those high singing tenor guys really appealed to me. And so I started really kind of trying to gear my singing in that direction, you know.
Wow. Well, since this is an acoustic session, when did you first pick up the acoustic guitar?
Well, when I was 7 years old, she was my aunt by marriage's sister. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So really she wasn't related to me, but she was kind of like family. She bought me my first guitar. Her name is Juanita. She's still living. She bought me my first guitar when I was 7 years old, and I started taking lessons. And the reason I think everybody in my family knew that I wanted to play and sing. And so I got to give credit to Juanita because she made that happen for me initially, you know. And then after I started taking lessons, it wasn't too long after that, I remember my mom and I bought another guitar at, there used to be in one of the malls in Austin, Texas, they used to have a guitar shop, and we bought another classical guitar. And I can't even tell you how many instruments my parents bought me when I was growing up. You know, my dad's passed away now, but my parents were always super supportive of my music.
Yeah. Did you happen to hang on, and you still have the original guitar that you're in?
I have the first one, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I have both of them. The one Juanita bought me, and also the second one. The third one was a Yamaha guitar that we got burglarized one time when I was 10 years old, and that Yamaha got stolen.
Oh.
The fourth guitar was an Epiphone, and I still have it. Yeah, I've hung on to most of them down through the years. Not to mention others that I've added to the collection as as an adult. I started buying my own, and you see one, and you just think you got to have it,
So is there anyone out there now, some of these newcomers that you'd really like to maybe do a duet with?
A newcomer that I would want to do a duet with, huh?
Yeah.
That's a good question. The guys that impress me the most right now is probably the Malpas brothers. And I don't know that wouldn't be a duet. It would have to be a trio. But we might do that one of these days. You never know.
Oh, well, that's good. You have to start doing a duet album then, right?
Well, I've done duet albums in the past. Amber Digby and I did an entire album together. And then a couple of years ago, Sharon Keniston and I did an entire album together. Not to mention pretty much every Justin Trevino album, this is our 16th album. Every Justin album has had at least one or two duets with various people. So I've got enough duets in the can to make a duet album without even having to go in the studio. But but the Malpas boys really impressed me, man. Chris and Taylor Malpas. We just got back from Canada. We played in Canada together in Colborne, Ontario, at the Apple Country Jamboree, and I had known Chris and Taylor prior to that, but we spent a lot of time together on the road this last trip and really got to know them a lot better. And those kids love country music. They love hardcore country music, and I love that about them.
That's what I heard. I heard that that's really popular up there in Canada, our country
Yeah,
music.
I'll say we were well received. We were.
That's great. What's it like when you went there and got on stage and heard the crowd? What's it like for you?
Well, in some ways, I mean, I've been playing music now for almost 40 years.
Yes.
So in some ways, you kind of get used to it, but I like going places I've never been. And this was my first time to go to Canada. And so to get a warm reception in a new country and with an audience that largely has never seen you before. Now, a few of those people had seen us because a few of them had come down to Texas at different times.
Wow.
We have a country music festival here in Brady, Texas, where I live. And I know some of those folks that came and talked to me when we were signing CDs. They said, "Oh yeah, we saw you in Brady a few years ago." So some of them knew us already, but the vast majority of them were seeing us for the first time, and so it's nice to be received warmly in a place you've never been.
Yeah, for singing for, doing this for 40 years, it must be pretty awesome to have fans who have stuck with you all this time, right? That's got to be awesome.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And I always joke. I always tell them it's great. I always love going somewhere for the first time because there's a lot of places I go, they won't let me come back.
Come on. Are you one? They don't throw tomatoes at you, do they?
Not yet.
You ever play in any of those honky tonks back in the day when they did that kind of stuff and had the cages?
Not so much. I've heard the stories
Yeah.
because I was always kind of the kid when I was I started my first band when I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And so I was the kid because all the guys in the band were, at least 20 years older than me or older than that. and it's always kind of been that way. Even to this day, a lot of the people I work with are in their 60s and 70s and even in their 80s. And so I've heard the stories about the chicken wire around the stage to keep beer bottles from hitting you and all that. But by the time I came up and started playing in honky tonks, those places weren't that rough. They were pretty tamed. So I'm kind of grateful, really, that I never got to experience that.
So other than Canada, have you traveled anywhere else abroad?
A little bit down through the years. I've played in Sweden twice.
Wow.
Played in Australia. Played in Scotland a couple of times, and played in France a couple of times. So that's been kind of, and now I can add Canada to my list.
Wow, you go.
I've living down here in Texas. We used to go to Mexico every now and then, but I've never performed in Mexico, so I can't really I can't claim it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So of all the places you've gone to, which one do you feel gave you the most welcome and just craziness?
Sweden
Really?
and Scotland. Sweden and Scotland. Yes.
I'm looking at your background. I know you got a gal there with you. Where is it that you're dialing in from there?
We're in Brady, Texas. We're coming to you from the Heart of Texas Country Music Museum. And this is my friend Terry Joyce. She's helping me because I can't do the Zoom thing by myself.
Yes.
And Terry is a great singer-songwriter herself. She's got some albums out. So
come on, Terry. We're going to be talking to Terry here soon.
Yeah, you might be. So I'm very grateful for her help to make this possible for me to visit with you this morning.
Well, we appreciate that. I know it's like asking parents which is their favorite kids, but you've got 20 songs. Is there one that you like more than the other or you like performing?
I don't know if I have a favorite, but I can narrow it down probably to 3 or 4.
Okay.
Windy City was my favorite song by Sonny and Bobby, the Osborne brothers. And I'm real pleased with the way that turned out. The title song, One Tear at a Time, I'm real happy with it. What If the Tables Were Turned, the one that we talked about that I wrote for Curtis Potter. I was really pleased with that one. Also, a song that Johnny Bush wrote called Rainbow Colored Words, I thought
Oh,
turned out really pretty on the album. Man, I keep thinking of more. If You'll Hold the Ladder,
oh,
that's cut number 2, and I felt like it really turned out nicely. So yeah, there's a few that stand out for me, but I'd be hard pressed to just give you a favorite, a single favorite. You know.
so what are you working on next?
Oh, I don't know. This one's so brand new right now. I hadn't even thought to. You know, one thing that I want to do, and I don't know. I hope I get to do it in my lifetime. Uh, and I think maybe Johnny Rodriguez has beat me to it. I think I heard that he's got one coming out. I want to make a country album with mariachis. I've always wanted to do that.
Yes, that would be
Yeah.
great. Keep that
Yes.
going.
I plan to.
That's very good. So social media, we want our listeners to be able to find all your
Yes. JustinTrevino.com, Justin Trevino Official on Facebook, and also heartoftexasrecords.com. That's the record label. And you can buy my CD as well as everything else on the record label from heartoftexasrecords.com. Of course, if you go to my website, it should link you to where you can order the record. Also, it'll have my schedule of all my dates.
All right, folks, we got to get to doing that. It's got some amazing music on there, and we're glad that you're back and gave us 20 songs to listen
20
to in
songs.
the car.
Yes, ma'am. That'll keep you busy for at least an hour.
Yeah, one tier at a time is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judy. I appreciate it.
Well, this will be going up, this interview, on our Hollywood Times official YouTube channel as well. So we'll get that to all your PR people. And thank you for joining us today.
Hey, it's been a pleasure visiting with you, and have a great rest of your day. And I look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, you do the same. Thank you so much.